was just not convinced that the moves that the West Indians made this morning was right. I keep saying Carl Hooper took himself off very early. Just the 8 runs of that last over that he bowled. Before that he had bowled 4 overs of off spin. 12 runs were conceded, and he had troubled both Lakshman and Tendulkar, 2 well set batsmen. And then that over, when Tendulkar hit him for 8 runs, he immediately took himself off and replaced himself with Chris Gale, who just made things a lot more simpler for the Indian batsmen. Now the key, of course, are the batsmen who come in after this wicket. Very much what you would call a start of the tail. Now that tail has wagged in this series, Bish. And the only way that they could be put under pressure, or they might not trouble the West Indian bowlers too much, was if West Indies had the psychological advantage, which they have lost this morning. So when Parthiv Patel and Harbhajan Singh and Srinath come after the fall of this wicket, they'll be feeling a lot more assured, and they'll continue to play in the fashion that they have done in the series. So that psychological advantage for West Indies was absolutely crucial. But the new ball, as we keep saying, is the glimmer of hope for West Indies.
Movement again above the side screen, and we've seen that so often during this test match. Probably need 1 or 2 stewards and policemen to oversee that area of the ground. .263 for 4. Parthiv Patel, the young man, in next as the water cart makes his way, the drinks cart makes his way onto the field. He's got a lot of character. Did help to save a match for India against England earlier this year in Nottingham. Batted for, well, over 3 hours for 19 runs. West Indies, their trump card, the second new ball, and Mervyn Dillon. That's the mix here at the moment, and that must come through. Now in these moments, these critical moments of any match, you need a leader on the field or with the bat. Sachin Tendulkar has led with the bat for India, no doubt about that. Clutch time, he's delivered. Now for the West Indies, as he did yesterday, Mervyn Dillon starting off the West Indies bowling so well, he has to deliver again from the West Indies perspective. We all seen what Sachin Tendulkar did, truly a great innings. I saw a sign come up, marvellous, when he got to 150. He certainly has marvelled everyone in this ground. But if Dillon can prize a wicket out here, and we all know how stubborn Parthiv Patel is, as the crowd continues to move behind the bowler's arm, and it's still open. And certainly anything above 150, Sanjay, for the West Indies to chase today could prove difficult, given the turn that we've seen Carl Hooper, who's not a big spinner of the ball, extract, and the bounce against Harbhajan and Kumble. So this game, well, still balanced, still in the balance.
Never a wise thing to do in cricket. I think the balance has tilted in India's favour, or a draw at the most. Match rapidly running away from West Indies. You mention anything more than 150, that looks very, very possible. Just another 26 runs and the lead would be 150 for India. The F block is creating a few problems for Tendulkar. He's not happy at all because the situation behind the side screen is not improving. And white policeman doesn't quite help with the red cricket ball.
Do you think then, Sourav Ganguly, if things continue going the way it is at the moment, Sanjay, do you think Sourav Ganguly will look towards a declaration?
To be honest, Bish, I don't quite know. We would all want Ganguly to think on those lines, because we all want some interesting cricket, nice contest, a close finish to what's been a very good test series. I really don't quite know how the Indian captain is thinking.
Still a lot of movement. I think it's on the upper tier, just a little higher up than that view that we're seeing at the moment.
Now West Indies can work this out to their own advantage. They've taken the second new ball. Their best bowler has got the second new ball in his hand. We all remember what he did with the first new ball, with the first ball. And if this halt in play has upset Tendulkar, which has done for sure, you can see them. Not often do you see him in this position. And maybe it's a good time for West Indies to come back and use this brief halt in play to their advantage.
Well, we saw when India batted first that the water break did halt the progress of Javagal Srinath. I don't think it will do much for the concentration of either of the teams at the moment. I mean, how long can he continue moving about here and trying to get things quietened? It's absolutely ridiculous.
Well, he's decided he's had enough. There's been no improvement behind the side screen. Things have remained the same, but he decides that in the interest of the game and both teams, well, he almost decided to take stance and continue batting, but it's gone worse, it seems. I love a lot of things, Bish, about this city of Kolkata. Eden Gardens, of course, one of its bright spots. Kolkata police is not really one of the things that I like too much about this city.
We're about to resume. Sachin Tendulkar is happy. The over resumes. One of the amazing things about for this series is that Sachin Tendulkar, I can't remember seeing him play a pull shot off the faster bowlers. Hasn't played that horizontal bat shot towards the leg side of the quicks. That has shown a lot of discipline in his approach. It hasn't always been successful because he's gotten a couple of starts. And that's the background of where Mervyn Dillon's bowling arm will be coming out. Now his eyes won't be that low. That's a view from his stump cam. A view from just around the thigh area. It does give an indication of the general area of where the bowler's arm comes through. Just a little too short in length at the moment. Just wants to be a fraction fuller, but the line is okay. Makes Sachin Tendulkar come after it. If it's that short, then he has a lot of time to see it. If it's a little fuller, maybe he just might be tempted to draw the batsman into the shot, bring those slips into play.
Vishna, my question to you is, you know the Western players pretty well. Just looking at them on the field, what would they be thinking? Hopes dying quickly or still very much in the game?
No, they have to be still very much in the game, Sanjay. It's 124 ahead. A wicket here can bring 2 or 3 easily. They know that they'll be hopeful that Mervyn Dillon, the most senior bowler in the team, he's the leader in terms of the bowling attack now. If he can provide that inspiration, they're all still tuned in, no doubt about that. They haven't given up. They shouldn't. Not a good over from Mervyn Dillon. 263 for 4.
Whatever you buy online, do it faster. Get closer to your customers and colleagues. Send and receive more information more easily. BT Broadband. For details, visit bt.com.
Well, in the distance you can certainly see the players still around the water cart. 2 batsmen just keeping the limbs supple because they know that they've still got a big job on their hands. The game is not sewed up by any means, but it's been one of the good innings of this Test match series, and in truth and in fact one of the more important partnerships for India in Test match cricket. 176 this partnership has been worth up to now. Sachin Tendulkar still there on 162. The match summary, well, India are 124 runs ahead and still 6 wickets intact. So every over they are clawing their way further and further towards safety. 2 for 74 for Dillon at the moment. The second new ball has been taken. No success for the West Indies so far this morning. It's been all Tendulkar and Laxman.
Quite an amazing innings from VVS Lakshman, coming close to 4 hours now, and he hasn't yet got to 50. For an attacking batsman, he's always been a naturally attacking player. It's a great mental effort from VVS Lakshman, and of course a lot of encouragement and inspiration to do just that. Just stay with Sachin Tendulkar. Always good to do that. Memorable experience, just playing with him. Partnership of 176 runs. Yet again, he's involved in consecutive Test matches on this ground in a massive partnership for India.
One of the reasons he can take his time and score and bat, Laxman, is because Tendulkar has been scoring quickly. So time is valuable for India, but also keeping the scoreboard ticking over. And Tendulkar has taken a lot of the pressure off Laxman because he's been scoring, keeping the partnership ticking, and Laxman has just been able to concentrate on staying there and supporting. Important and valuable in the context of the partnership and the match. This is good work from Darren Powell. Hostile on this flat surface, and also a good line through him for pace.
Well, the young man has been very impressive with the second new ball. That last over that he bowled was quick, and that was a very, very good bouncer. VVS Lakshman just not quick enough to get behind it. He was looking to pull it or maybe hook it around the square leg area. Just too quick.
What Powell should be thinking now is that he doesn't need to overdo the short ball, keep it as a surprise, but the follow-up here is going to be important. Good length, on or about the off stump, not down the leg side as ill-directed as that was, and he acknowledges that. But you must keep the pressure on as a bowler, any type of bowler, spinner or fast bowler. And just get that good length going as the stock delivery, just on the off stump.
What is admirable is that he's looking to bowl quick. There's nothing in the pitch at all. A lot of, well, seamers or fast bowlers in this particular test match are quite happy bowling the line in length in the 120s, 130s.
You see, that's the area, that's the channel that he needs to be bowling. It's good to run in and bang the short ball in because he is quick. You cannot do away with that natural strength. But it must also be aligned with a measure of control. He's still young, he will learn. But at the moment, if he can cause problems for a set batsman as Laxman is, then credit has to go to the young man.
Yet again, the speed close to 140, 138.4 kph. The last ball was bowled at. Be feeling a lot more relaxed now. Anil Kumble behind him. He has a job to do.
.264 for 4. The man of the moment, Sachin Tendulkar. The Indian flags flying, Dillon bowling. Change in the commentary box now. That well-rounded partnership of Ravi Shastri and Danny Morrison.
Thank you, Ian. Carl Hooper, he will be wondering how he can break this partnership. I think one thing he would have realized, having given the new ball to Powell, is that I can't see Cameron Coffey getting the new ball again for a long time, because he's bowled really well. He's extracted pace from the surface, and tactically I think West Indies have made a huge error here this morning by not letting loose the younger fast bowlers along with Mervyn Dillon. He's always gone by a pattern. He's given the ball first to Dillon, which is fair enough. He's the spearhead of the West Indian attack. Then he's given it to Coffey, where I thought in a situation like this where West Indies had to go for the kill, he should have unleashed his younger fast bowlers. And talking of fast bowlers, I've got one with me in the commentary box. Your thoughts on that, Danny?
Yeah, thanks, Ravi. I was on a little earlier this morning and speaking with him about Sanjay Mandraker when Coffey had a crack, and I just totally agree. I think the horse has bolted a little bit. The lead is 126. Now, it's not totally over for the West Indies, but it is slipping away rather quickly. And I discussed that with Sanjay Mandraker at length. Cuffy, while he'll probably play a bit more in the one-day game, just think they have missed that opportunity while the ball was older. But older first ball, where it could have reversed a bit more. And Jermaine Lawson and Chennai impressed me when he'd had that old ball.
Well, Dillon's been bang on target. Well, this has been a wonderful innings. He's played shots all round the wicket. And what's good to see is look for the gaps. He's looked at the field setting and then decided that he still wants to pierce the field and get the runs. The pacing of his innings has been superb. Lucky. The ball going back and hitting the stumps. That was firmly struck. Now the question to be asked is, did Dillon get a hand to it?
Never mind whether he got a hand to it, Rav. How did he get past that big blade? It's just, well, sublime batting. Simply awesome.
Takes a single, keeps a strike. That's what he wants. 266 for 4.
और आप फोन करती रहना. बाय.
कौन सा?
नबीला. अब वो बर्मिंघम में है.
Beat well, better than that to the tail. So not impossible to still, well, they can knock him over for another 50, 60, 70 runs. There's still possibilities for the West Indies.
266 for 4. Patel, the next man to come out. And Sachin Tendulkar, he's got a wide range of shots, and this Eden Gardens crowd has been treated to a real exhibition. Shots of the back foot, shots of the front foot, work with the wrists there. You can see how he's looking for the placement. Use of the feet as well. But this should be a good contest now. Powell is running in and generating some pace.
So passionate about their cricket here in Kolkata, and as a foreigner in this part of the world, it's just so good to see. So much excitement, so much passion for the game, and there's been so much turbulence off the park around the world in this great game. It's just so good to see the atmosphere here at Eden Gardens. Electric.
It's really exciting when you see a young man running in hard. Watch Darren Powell here. He's got a good run up to the crease. Nice strong action at the time of landing. And I do believe he's an exciting prospect for the West Indies.
Well, the thing I like about Powell and Lawson is that youthful enthusiasm, obviously, but they run in, and when they get it right, see, this is just that length. And he's using the new ball, and while he's a little bit aerosol, what I mean about that is that he sprays it a little bit, but he's young and raw. But the materials there, the physicalities are good. And I think he's the right man here to go with a new ball, because he goes a little bit out from the right hand, he goes away. And a couple of times when he's got the length and line right, that's where Tendulkar's vulnerable, nicking caught behind.
That's got away. That's a glorious shot. It wasn't all that bad a delivery, but the little man has got on top of it nicely.
And you see, though, just any fraction amount of short pitch bowling is going to sit up. As Ravi Shastri said, he's only a little fella, and he creates that extra pace on the ball. He gets back just a fraction, and if it's just a fraction too short, it just goes to the fence so quickly. You've got to have that ball bouncing over off stump or fractionally outside off stump. Margin for error when bowling Tendulkar in this frame of mind, 167. There's just such a small boundary.
Quietly takes the single. India played a lot of cricket against the West Indies this year. 5 test matches in the Caribbean, 3 test matches here. And the West Indian players would not have seen the best of Tendulkar until this very last innings. I don't think he's been at his best. He wasn't at his best in the Caribbean. He missed out in the first 2 test matches here. But this last innings of the test series has been a batting exhibition. .271 for 4, 272, I beg your pardon.
133 the lead. And, well, lunch not that far off. It's local time at 11:30. And that is the thing that'll be on the mind of the 2 batsmen out in the middle for India. Still time to keep putting pressure on this West Indies side. All to play for, Carl Hooper and his men. Lead of 133. We mentioned before, if they could maybe chase around 180, still gettable, but pressure on. .272 for 4. Well, I'm looking forward to Diwali, there's no doubt about that. And there's a function on tonight at the Taj. Underprivileged children, handing out some fireworks and food. It'll be great.
It will be great. So the lead 133 at the moment.
Well, you see it around the grounds in England. They love getting dressed up and having a ball and wearing all different coloured hats and funny coloured hair and outfits, but here they've got into the act as well. So we've just had Halloween, American celebration there. October 31 is the official day, and we're getting closer and closer. In fact, tomorrow, Diwali starts tomorrow, and there'll be plenty of noise. That's a cracker. That is the spot. Now, we haven't seen enough of this from the West Indian quicks. Making the batsman play on off stump, probing around and giving the bowler a chance to pick up the outside edge. See, he's gone nowhere, Lakshman. He's gone, in fact, around about leg stump. So easy, another day could have nicked it.
Yes, I think that's one of the problems Lakshman has had right through his career. Doesn't really get across. He likes to stay on leg stump and make himself some room to play away on the offside.
Well, that's right, and that last delivery, that technique of his, Lakshman's, suits that. Dylan, stock delivery, comes back in and he can just pick guys off through the leg side. And you see he's about mid-crease, wideish on the crease, Dylan. You see it angling back in. And it's just meat and drink in there. Loves the leg side, Lakshman. So that ball previous to the last one, where it just held its line a little bit and went through to Jacobs. You've got to be there. So often for youngsters watching this, good players, like club players, you go through good and bad days. Now see, that again is the better line. It's probing and almost caused the false stroke. Thick outside edge. And so the youngsters watching this, you want to be on off stump. And having worked with Dennis Lilly at the Pace Academy and MRF there in Chennai, the whole visual for a quick bowler is to look at the base of off stump. You're taught as a youngster to visualise at the top of your bowling mark is that when you're getting back to your mark, you're thinking about the next delivery. You're switching off, relaxing. Whether it's a club game or a test match, you turn, and then you know what bowl you're going to bowl. You're looking at the base of off stump because that is the line you want, whether they're right-handed batters or left-handed batsmen. That is your zone. That's your line.
There is third man, but the line is good. Run off stump.
And just on that theme with Dennis Lilly coming back and forwards to Chennai's, it's just the amount of players that are here in India, the pot, if you like, of players, and the talent pool is enormous. But it's fine-tuning, it's harnessing that talent. And we've seen that with Zahir Khan recently, coming through that MRF program. We've seen Srinath in the early 90s have a look at that and come through that. A lot of overseas players now come to Chennai, and it is just such a great setup there.
Yes, there's no doubt about that. Dennis has contributed immensely. 273 for 4. .273 for 4. Well, it's again a sizable crowd here.
And they're loving it too, because at the start of this innings for India, loss of a ball, the first ball I should say, a wicket, and then they're 2 down for just 11, then 3 for 49 India, and then the Devils number, the Australian Devils number came up, it was 4 wickets down for 87. So the crowd was somewhat quiet and subdued, but not now. It's 273 for 4. That lead of 134 making a difference.
That's a fine shot. Nice way to reach a half century.
And to go with his 48 in the first innings. He'll be pleased about that because he missed out. He got set in the first innings, got 48 and got out off Dillon. This time he converts.
Yes, it's been a battling innings for PVS Lakshman, but the good thing, he's not thrown his hand. He's concentrated hard, and this is a nice fluent shot.
Well, that's right, Rav. He's played for Tendulkar. He hasn't got carried away. This is his ground. He got 281 against Australia, but he hasn't got carried away. He has done his job for the team. He's got 52 from 255 minutes. And you see he's faced a lot of balls. Concentration and discipline. Now, when they lost the skipper at 87, and they're just teetering there, India. So he's done a great job, VVS Lakshman. And let the little master at the other end just carry on his merry way as he has stroked 26 boundaries, Sachin Tendulkar, on a stay of 367 minutes. Sublime. In local time, quarter to 11. No, 3/4 of an hour to lunch. Just going through the mind of Lakshman and Tendulkar, how long to just keep it ticking, play sensibly, and second new ball, so it'll do a little bit. But on the same scale of things, they love playing their shots, the Indians, hate to be tied down, and that is why this has been such an important innings from Lakshman. Such good discipline.
With 2 runs comfortably.
The other thing I like about these two batting is that they run between wickets, and mainly encouraged by the little fella Tendulkar, because he loves to run the first one hard. Now see, he's been batting for all that time I mentioned, last night and today, and it's pretty hot. Humidity's around about 88%, but see, Lakshman played that shot and he wanted his partner to come back, wanted to keep ticking with the strike, get a fair share of the strike, and he ran the first one hard, Tendulkar, and came back for 2.
Just settled for the single on that occasion. 280 for 4. Well, it's a pretty sight, the Eden Gardens in Kolkata today, being a Sunday. Should get the biggest crowd. This match nicely balanced.
Big move, Dylan. Well, you can only bowl for so long as a quick man. Speed merchant in this part of the world. Energy sapping, climate, humidity, all those sort of variables to playing in the subcontinent. So, Carl Hooper, who will he go to next once Merv Dillon needs a break? Well, personally, I think it'll have to be Mr. Lawson, a young fella. Charge in from the far end, the high court end of the ground. Have a go, he'll relish the chance with the second new ball. He's got Tendulkar out before. I say he had a good little spell of it on debut in Chennai. There, Chiphook got the ball there and thereabouts after an early bit of nerve, sprayed it around a bit, but when he bowled that old ball, I was rather impressed. The ball got a good line, came back into the right-handers, and then got the ball just to straighten away from the right-handers as well.
That's a fine shot. He just eased it through the offside of the back foot.
Oh, I think David Shepherd liked it too. Nice bit of smooth elegance about the stroke, and the same with the umpire signalling it. Simple, didn't move too much, just slightly back and across. He stroked it away to the offside, and umpire Dave Shepherd, a little flutter with the right arm.
And again, but this time straight to the man at cover. Just get the feeling he's feeling a lot better now. Lakshman, having reached his half century, the feet are moving better. We mentioned earlier he's not been his normal fluent self, but the timing just seems to be coming back. His partnership worth 197.
Just the way things are going for India, with these two at the crease, the run rate is so good. And again, you see, you can't bowl both sides of the wicket. And when you do that, a skipper gets rather grumpy, and so does the bowler, but you really can't set fields for that. And that is the biggest frustration for the West Indies skipper at the moment. He's trying to get wickets. Merv Dillon's getting a bit tired, and bowling both sides of the wicket.
286 for 4. .286 for 4. So India going along nicely this morning. And 91 runs have been added this morning, and Jermaine Lawson now being brought into the attack. Tendulkar will be the man on strike. He's not had the strike of late, too much of the strike.
And another little milestone around the corner. Partnership of 199. Seems a long time ago that Saurav Ganguly was LBW to Cameron Cuffey for 16. This has been top draw, Ravi.
Top draw simply because they were 52 behind at that stage and in danger of defeat. So in many ways this could well be a match-saving partnership. Tendulkar will get 2, and the 200-run partnership comes up.
While Tendulkar has really contributed more to this partnership, Lakshman has certainly played his hand. There's no doubt about that. Powers of concentration and patience with a capital P. VVS Lakshman. He is such a stroke maker himself, and he's hung in there with the little master.
Well, they're approaching a milestone of sorts. 204 is the highest partnership for the 5th wicket against the West Indies. It was made way back in 75-76. And the players involved there, Sunny Gavaskar and Brijesh Patel, who's now the chairman of the selectors. It was in Port of Spain, Trinidad. Now these two have added 201. If these two batsmen are still there at lunch, I'm sure Saurav Ganguly will seriously be thinking of just taking a dart at the West Indies. I'll just be contemplating. Let's see if we can add some quick runs and then have a go at the West Indies for about 50 or 60 overs. Harbhajan Singh will be the key man, as would Anil Kumble. Well, he's already biting his nails. He wants to bowl.
Well, there was a maximum of 108 overs to try and get through 108 overs, and we haven't had that any of the previous 4 days. Yesterday was about 79 overs, so in terms of trying to set something, it'll be difficult because of the light factor here in Kolkata. But yeah, I agree, Ravi. It'd be interesting whether he'd have a crack at it, Saurav Ganguly. Think about it. If these two could be there at lunch and get some quick runs post-lunch.
Well, he's not gone for the hook as yet in this innings. 288 for 4.
That's the first time I've seen that come out of the draw. The old hook shot. He likes to have a crack at it occasionally. It just shows you. When you're on 170, you might as well pull that one out of the bag.
Well, 288 for 4. Marvin Dillon continuing. Well, VVS Lakshman, you mentioned earlier, Danny loves batting on this ground. A half century and that big double 100 against Australia, then 48 in the first innings here. He's now 61 again. That's a good length. He's drawing Lakshman forward. He's not had his share of luck in this innings, Marvin Dillon. He's beaten the bat on quite a few occasions.
Oh, didn't it? A little bit of extra springbok in that one. Just fizzed past the outside edge. A little extra effort there. And you can see the seam was good. You see the seam release from Merv Dillon. It was nice and upright. And that extra bit of bounce.
Again, opening him up, getting the leading edge. There's no gully.
It's just that length again. Length and the line. Yeah, see, he's again hovering around that leg stump, VVS Lakshman. Not covering off stump. Not quite knowing still where his off stump is. For a man who's been there for 271 minutes. As Ravi Shastri said, it's just that little bit of deficiency in his footwork. That's where Merv Dillon needs to be, probing around off stump.
The lead now 151. Tendulkar's highest score against the West Indies is 179. That was made in Nagpur some time ago.
We were discussing yesterday, Sachin Tendulkar gets to 100, gets to 150 and likes to go on. Has a problem a couple of times getting out in the 170s and 193 he's been out for, but he loves getting these big scores.
Yes, and it's the way he's got it in this innings. He's 171 batting and his strike rate is over 60. And when you're trying to save a match, when your team is in trouble, it has to be termed as a great innings under pressure.
I said it yesterday, and I'll say it again today. It has been an absolute privilege and an honour to be here doing the commentary work and watching the little man out there play like this, because he has missed out by his own high standards in this series. You mentioned Ravi didn't have a good time of it in the Caribbean, but here, when it really mattered, his last crack at it, last roll of the dice, he's come good.
.290 for 4. Jermaine Lawson here continuing. Tendulkar the man on strike. Got about half an hour to go for lunch. And to take you through to lunch, it'll be Michael Holding and Maninder Singh.
Thank you, Ravi. India have almost added 100 runs this morning. The rate at which they were going in the first hour, you thought perhaps they would have added 150 or more before lunch and get that comfortably. That would have given them a manual lead of just over 200 at lunch, and then anything could have been possible after that.
Yes, Mikey, heard Arun Lal talking to Saurav Ganguly in the morning, and Ganguly was of the idea if he gets 200, 210 in a good time, he might just give West Indians a chance to go after that total and maybe go for a victory in this game. So if he does anything like that, could bring in some interest in this game.
Would be very interesting. Another 60 runs or so. That would mean perhaps another 20 overs, 18 overs maybe. Dropped. That was hit very hard though.
Chris Gayle, the man at point. Sachin Tendulkar has been thrashing them very hard. There was room for him outside the off stump. A straightforward chance. You've got to latch onto those in this class of cricket. Chris Gayle must be very disappointed. An opportunity given by Sachin Tendulkar at the score of 172, floored by the West Indians.
Yes, you would expect catches like that to be taken at test level. It wasn't easy, but this is the highest level. There's nothing higher than test match cricket.
Maybe he was just watching Sachin Tendulkar and enjoying his batting.
Show you these things on so many occasions in the slow motion. We'll have a look at it at real time. Got there very quickly, didn't it? But as I said, this is the highest level. They are expected to take catches like that at the highest level. Interesting situation though, man, is that India have gotten these runs so quickly this morning. At the end of this over, there's still theoretically 77 overs left in the day's play. So if India were to take another 20 overs and get to 210, I don't think they would give the West Indies 57 overs to get 210. That is a bit easy.
That's right, maybe they'll use a couple of overs more. Just give 50 overs to West Indies to get 230, 240.
Singh lost the last ball. Is 292 for 4. Just a bit of attention for VVS Latchman. Seeing as if he did get a blow on that forearm earlier on, but he's still soldiering on. Certainly has been a fantastic session for India. Could almost say they have totally taken this game away from the West Indies. Never should tempt fate. They're 153 in front and anything is possible in this game, but you would think from here on that India would consider themselves to be fairly safe. The West Indians now trying another card. Here comes Cameron Coffey back into the attack. 205 runs this partnership, a new record for India. Previous partnership record held by Sunil Gavaskar and Brijesh Patel. 204 India versus the West Indies. That was way back in '76 in the Caribbean, Port of Spain, Trinidad. Now Tendulkar and Latchman are the new holders. Few records being broken in this money, and interestingly enough, none by bowlers. Saw one down at the third man position.
The crowd has really enjoyed this partnership between Sachin Tendulkar and VVS Lakshman. It was very crucial from the Indian point of view. They were in deep trouble when Sachin Tendulkar came into bat. What an innings this has been. 172 not out of 274 balls with 26 boundaries. More than 100 runs coming off boundaries. Cameron Coffey, the slowest of the West Indian bowlers. 126.4 kilometers per hour.
An extended session this morning again, as per usual throughout this test. Normally each session, as we know, 2 hours. Started half an hour earlier today because of loss of previous overs over previous days. 98 runs. They have slowed down a bit, India. They're going at a run a minute in the first hour.
I agree, the Indians have slowed down, but Carl Hooper also has taken a safe field. He's got a deep point. There, he's trying to stop the flow of runs off the blade of the Indians.
.293 for 4.
Sachin Tendulkar, what a masterly innings.